Okay, we're going to call the Utilities Commission meeting to order. The time this evening is 7:31 p.m. The first item under the Utilities Commission meeting is to approve the minutes of the meeting of November 5th, 2018.
I'll move to we approve the Utilities Commission meetings in November the 5th, 2018 as submitted.
All right, we'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let the record show we unanimously approve the minutes of the meeting of November 5th, 2018. Second on the Utilities Commission meeting is the operating funds on hand. Tonight, the total cash on hand on December 3rd, 2018 is $2,077,490.64. And within that, designated capital funds set aside for capital projects, the balance for those is $806,000.
That's part of that 2 million.
Yes.
That is correct.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The next item under the Utilities Commission meeting is the payment of the bills. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
I move that we pay the bills.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Let the record show we unanimously agree to pay the bills, which brings us to the always imitated, never duplicated concept.
What do you got? Mayor and Council, been a relatively uneventful month. A lot of vacation time, so we've just been kind of keeping up with things. We did have an issue at the wastewater plant. One of the clarifiers got clogged up, so we pumped it out and unclogged it. Something else I want to mention, if anyone should see anyone connected to a town fire hydrant getting water out of it that is not the volunteer fire department, please call Town Hall or 410-708-4603. That is very important. Somebody hooks up to a fire hydrant and they take 1,000 gallons of water without paying for it is a very small thing. But it stirs up the mains when they do that, and then we have to flush a hydrant and dump 50,000 gallons of water to get the water cleared up again. So if you should see anyone hooked up to a fire hydrant, please give us a call, take a picture, get a license plate, so we can hold them responsible. That's happening more frequently.
I could see in the summertime filling swimming pools and things, but what the heck are they doing with it now?
Fiber optics. We right now have 4 companies throughout Kent County that are doing the horizontal drilling, putting in fiber optics. That all takes water. So some of them call us up and say, hey Bob, can we get some water? I say, okay, come on over to the water plant. If they're getting 500 gallons, we don't even charge them. We give them 500 gallons of water, they go about doing what they're doing. But then some companies are worried they're gonna have to pay the $5 that 500 gallons of water would cost. So they hook up to a hydrant someplace like Coventry Farms, open the hydrant and fill their tank, shut the hydrant off and leave. But they stirred up the mains when they did that. So then we have to go up and open the hydrant and let it run for an hour before it clears up. And that's about 50,000 gallons of water. So it's, to them it seems penny wise, but if they call us up, we are pretty reasonable as far as, you know, when they can get water and how much it costs. It's pretty cheap, especially compared to what they can be fined if they get caught. So if you should see anyone hooked to a fire hydrant, please call us, 410-708-4603, and I will be there in 10 minutes.
That's stealing, so it's a crime in itself, so.
It is, yes, it's a misdemeanor, but we are limited on what we can do. I think in the town code, it's either a $100 or a $500 fine, and that is after they have been warned. But we can charge them for the water that we have to waste to clean the mains up. That's not, that's not a fine. That's simply charging for the cost of what they did. So, again, if anyone should see anything like that, give us a call. Take a picture of it, get a name off the truck, something for us to go by. I would certainly appreciate it. I handed you a packet. We talked at the last meeting about the possibility of needing a sewer jetter. Our sewer jetter will not go over 1,500 pounds now. This is Sewer Equipment of America. It is who we got the last jetter from, and they have been awarded a national contract, which is the NGPA contract. I think we've used it on they said we got a vacuum, some kind of truck off of the contract, a street sweeper or something. And it knocks the price down. What I was anticipating was something close to $80,000. On this contract, the total is $66,676.91. So I would like to get that with the money, some of the money that's in the capital funds.
So do you need us to make a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we cover the cost from the Mid-Atlantic out of our, what do we call it, our capital fund? Utilities Commission.
I second that.
All those in favor?
I'm in favor, but I just want to give a recap of what this was. I'm in favor of it. Just to refresh my memory.
This is the machine that we use when we get a sewer blockage.
Okay.
The one that we have is at least 25 years old. And typically what they do is it's a long hose that goes up to 500 PSI, and then you put nozzles on it. Typically you have one nozzle that goes forward, 4 nozzles that go backwards. The 4 backward nozzles propel the hose through the sewer pipe, and the forward nozzle busts through the blockage. Now, the one that we're getting is going to do less pressure and more flow, because it's actually the volume of the water that reduces the blockage. So once you get up, this one's going to do 2,500 PSI instead of 4,000, but it's going to do 40 gallons a minute instead of 14. So it's going to work better for us because 4,000 PSI is a little too much on the terracotta mains that we have. So it'll be less pressure, more volume, more efficient.
That was going to be my question. So far less danger of breaking the pipes.
Yes, and that's the main reason for going for that. Keep in mind, usually when we get a blockage, it's not something that it happens right away. You get there, and it's just something that needs to be pulled out of the pipe. You get sludge built up behind the blockage that could be 50 foot long. So you go in there with a high pressure nozzle, and what you end up doing is going through the blockage, but you're not applying enough water to it to wash it out. So you go through there 15 gallon a minute, and you don't know why, but hey, the hose is all the way up to the other manhole, but we still got a blockage. We just need to apply more water to it.
All right, there is a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let the record show you unanimously agree to purchase this piece of equipment. Mid-Atlantic Waste System.
And that's all I have.
All right, any other questions or comments from Mr. Sipes?
Just thank you. These are educational. I'm telling you, I love
Man, there's a lot about sewer systems.
The sewer jetter is our main tool.
Okay.
It keeps us from having overflows all over town. Anytime we get a blockage, it's the sewer jetter that clears the blockage. And no matter what that blockage is, we have a tool that will go on the sewer jetter to take care of it. The hydraulic sewer jetter isn't just water. You also have hydraulic motors that you can put on the end that can cut roots. You have tools you can put on there to clean grease.
So this will do that.
And this will do at least twice, it should be at least twice as effective because it has twice the volume of water. And again, once you get over that 1,500, 2,000 PSI, it's not the pressure that you need, it's the volume of water. Because the
Look, I could talk about sewer gutters all night. Any other questions about something other than sewer gutters? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Quite a few.
Yes, I love it.
I never knew there was so much to sewer jetter.
No, didn't know what a sewer jetter was until tonight. It's like an advanced roto-rooter
It's all
machine.
coming together.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and call the mayor and council meeting to order, 7:40 PM. The first item on the mayor and council meeting agenda is the minutes of the public hearing on ordinance 06-2018, amendment to chapter 170 zoning, and the mayor and council meeting of November 19th, 2018.
I will move that we accept as the public hearing text change amendment to chapter 170 zoning we discussed on November the 19th, and the mayor and council meeting for November the 19th minutes is submitted.
Yep, I'll second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we unanimously approve the minutes, Jim.
Yes.
Operating funds on hand this evening from the town of Chestertown, Maryland. Total operating cash on hand for unrestricted use is $1,586,081.42. And we also have remaining restricted use funds for arena and private locations. The next item on our agenda here this evening, the payment of the bills.
I'll move to pay the bills as submitted.
Second?
All those in favor? Any opposed? Should we unanimously approve the pay bills? Just rolling, rolling for the agenda we've written to do. Washington College and Access.
Hello, my name is Lauren Frick. I'm a junior at Washington College and I am the Connecticut Club Secretary. And I want to talk to you tonight about the electric vehicle ride sharing project. Connecticut is a Washington College student organization which focuses on solving real-world problems through entrepreneurial action. We are part of a global network of Connecticut groups, which is working to implement the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. The SDGs is the UN's Millennium Development Goals. They recognize the importance of human development along with economic growth. And Actis believes that economic entrepreneurial action for others creates a better world for us all. Some of our past projects in Chestertown include Soap. Soap produces and sells fine tanning soaps while employing developmentally disabled individuals locally through the Soap Center. All profits of the soap go toward global sanitation efforts. We use the proceeds from the Soap for Hope project to work with individuals in Haiti to provide education and resources to establish their own soap villages. This project is sustainability, operating entirely on its own without an active supervision. Our latest project is an electric vehicle ride-sharing infrastructure program in collaboration with GreenSpot. GreenSpot offers urban mobility solutions by developing electric charging station and rental vehicle infrastructure. They currently operate ride-sharing systems in Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Washington, D.C. GreenSpot collaborates with prospective municipalities to fund the installation of charging stations and the purchase of electric vehicles. GreenSpot and Enactus would like to install 3 charging stations with 2 electric vehicles in Chestertown. And GreenSpot would like to use Chestertown as their pilot location in Maryland and expand into the So you may ask yourself, why electric vehicle ride sharing? Electric vehicles are becoming an important part of the sustainable transportation networks of the future. A 2018 Chevy Bolt can travel 50 miles ride-sharing system will work. Green Spot will install 2 charging stations, each with the capacity to charge 2 vehicles. One charging station will be reserved for public use, while the other will be reserved exclusively for the rental cars. The electric vehicles that are provided will be Teslas, Nissan Leafs, or Chevy Works. The model of the car will determine the hourly rate. Teslas could cost up to $20 an hour, while a model more like a Nissan Leaf would cost about $10 an hour to rent. The user would pay the hourly rate with a credit card via an app when they reserve the vehicle. Users would then unlock the car door and the keys would be stored inside. Green Spot would collect the rental revenue, insure the vehicles, and provide any necessary vehicle maintenance. We intend to fund this project through the Maryland Volkswagen Litigation Fund of the Maryland Department of Energy. This fund is established to fund Volkswagen to be appreciating on their vehicle emission requests. The state of Maryland received $75.7 million in funds from the Volkswagen settlement to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve vehicle infrastructure. Maryland will fund 100% of the costs of electric vehicle infrastructure construction on public land and will partially reimburse construction on private land. The deadline for the grant application will be in March 2019. To maximize the benefit of an electric vehicle ride-sharing system in Chestertown, we have established a research plan. We intend to conduct a survey of both the Washington College campus and the Chestertown community to determine who would be interested in using electric vehicle ride-sharing, where they would go, and how to install the infrastructure in a way that would be accessible to the people who need to use it the most. We are working in collaboration with the Washington College Geographic Information Systems Program. We believe that the people who would benefit the most from a ride-sharing system are individuals who do not own personal vehicles, who might need the ability to drive to doctor's appointments, go grocery shopping, or even get to work. Because we do live in a rural area where many necessities can only be reached by driving, access to a ride-sharing system will economically empower individuals through enhanced mobility. With these aspects in mind, we hypothesize that Ward 3 may be in greatest need of increased transportation options. Ideally, we would like to install the charging stations on publicly accessible land to receive the full reimbursement rate from the Volkswagen Litigation Fund. How you can help at this stage of our project is simply to sign a statement of support, which I have handed to you so you can see in our grant application, which does not require any formal. We have provided this we hope that we can come to an agreement about the best location for charging stations to meet the needs of the community in the future. However, because this project is reliant on grant funding, our first step is just to get an application in. We will request the funding to conduct the analysis research, which will help us determine where is the best place for the charging stations. At this stage, we are hoping to submit proof of their interest in and support for the possibility of installing an electric vehicle ride-sharing system. We hope to start a conversation about the possibility of future collaboration. And we welcome your comments, questions,
So you get this, there's like cars that I can just grab my phone and like I get in this car at this
Yes, so-
charging station and I can drive it wherever I want
Yes, sir.
and I bring it back to the charging station.
The way it works is that to be able to access the cars, you have to install an app on your phone, and you would pay with a credit card and reserve to use the car at a particular time. And you could drive that car
How
anywhere.
do I pay with my credit card?
So you would put your payment information in the app.
In the phone, in my phone.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
all through phone.
Yes, it's all managed through the app online, through the company, so the town doesn't have to be involved with, collecting rental fees or any of that, so it's all automated.
If the car never comes back,
Green
then what
Spot
happens?
is insuring the car, so if the car is stolen, they take the loss, or they'll be in charge of the costs of finding the car or replacing it.
Very intriguing.
Yes.
Right, so essentially what the
I was
proposal.
not expecting this.
So essentially it's, we're asking for permission to put the system in. It won't have any cost to you. Green Spot would pay all the costs of installing the electric infrastructure, pay the electric bill. Right now, really what we're asking is for well, what we would need your help for is determining a location where the charging stations could be, because essentially you'd be reserving 4 parking spots for the electric vehicles. So it's the right
So
to use those 4 parking
There's
spots.
4 rental cars?
So there are 2 cars.
Yeah.
There are 2 charging stations. Each charging
gotcha, I
station
gotcha.
can charge up to 2 cars.
What is if you were to put this, say, on private land, like at Camp Plaza, what percent would the state pay for that?
So if it's on private land, but it is accessible for public use, then it gets reimbursed at 80% of the construction costs.
And then the college or the town would have to cover the other 20% to get at.
We would look at finding different fundraising options. So depending on the location and if it is sort of a semi-private situation, and access is all about finding options and other solutions to problems. So we would do our best to provide the peer-to-peer funds through our fundraising programs. And receiving funds from the state for the construction period might take a few years, so it gives us plenty of time to work with finding additional funding.
I think I'll probably speak for most of the council, but the concern for the town, whenever something's on town property, is
Liability.
eventually there's cost for the town somehow, some way, whether it's maintaining the facility or if the facility gets vandalized. So my question is like, what are the towns, if this were to happen, where does the town's funding come into play, other than just donating the money?
My understanding of Green Spot's requirements are just use of the land, and that they'll ensure, liability for the vehicles and the charging stations.
I have questions too, and I like Anactus, but I have bought a lot of soap.
I bought some of this
I buy a lot of soap. I have, are you requesting this on college property or on the town, or private property within the town off campus?
Ideally, you would like the charging stations to be accessible to the public. There are already some electric vehicle charging stations on Washington College campus. Our hope is to expand the electric vehicle infrastructure in Chestertown itself. Some of the ideas we have for possible sites for charging stations might include the fountain park, if you want to have the vehicles as more like a tourist attraction, so you can say we have environmentally friendly rental vehicles that tourists can use for the day. But the other angle is that having rental vehicles can really make a difference for someone who is in a tough spot, doesn't own their own vehicle, and needs to get somewhere. And for that kind of situation, we're thinking that Ward 3 might benefit the most. I've actually done some research on the U.S. General Survey, and the majority of people in Ward 3 do not drive a personal vehicle to work. So that kind of implies that a lot of people don't own personal vehicles, and transportation is something really important for helping people find jobs and just generally put on the economy and thinking about their own lives. And so we think that the electric vehicle ride-sharing system could benefit that community as well. But of course, we are open to a negotiation of where the town would be willing to give up
But if I'm renting a Tesla and I'm driving it to work and I'm getting charged $20 an hour and it's sitting in my parking lot at work for 8 hours,
Right.
I'm on the hook for $160, $180
So
for that one day. Like,
part
is that
of
really-
the decision that goes into deciding whether it's a Volt or a Tesla or a Nissan Leaf is who's your target audience. If the target audience is for environmental ecotourism, you might go for a higher end vehicle. If the audience you're going for is low income people who might need a ride, you'd probably go with the lower end Nissan Leaf, which could cost anywhere from $8 to $12 an hour.
Is this being done anyplace else that you know of nearby?
It's not done in Maryland right now, but Green Spot does have electric vehicle charging systems and rental systems in New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., and Massachusetts and Delaware.
Are these municipalities or other colleges, or who's doing this?
So Green Spot works with municipalities to start electric vehicle ride-sharing systems, but they also install charging stations in private apartment complexes. So they work with a range of people and help find funding that meets the needs of whoever would like to have the electric vehicle infrastructure installed. And as I mentioned before, the Volkswagen Mitigation Fund will help to reimburse people for installing electric vehicle charging stations on private property.
Well, we have a local business in Ward 3 who just put into electric car chargers at their own expense. And it was quite a sizable expense. I really, like I said, I support an act because, I do, but for the expense that this business has put out for those two chargers, I personally, and I don't think they would appreciate the competition, if this was 90%.
Where is that?
East Coast Shredding, they just had the ribbon cutting in, well, we didn't cut the ribbon, but today it's shredding. So,
You cut the ribbons in a rainstorm.
but
I mean, if it's a question of that, it'd be possible just to install the one charging station that is used exclusively for the rental vehicles. So that way you wouldn't be stepping on the toes of the business who's offering to pay other people to charge, or offering to provide charging services for a fee.
That's an intriguing location might be the marina, actually, where you have boaters coming in and then they want to go up into town or they want to go to the grocery store at Acme, and it's just a
The
little
marina
too
was also
far
a
along.
discussion that we considered. So all of deciding exactly where the charging station would go can be a discussion that we figure out if we get the grant funding. Again, this project is pretty reliant on getting the grant funding because, as you said, to install the infrastructure is pretty expensive, and that's not something that the NACDIS would be able to do in the immediate future if we don't get the grant funding. So we're obviously very willing to work with you on where you think the best location would be, and also to work with you on the research process and determining who would benefit the most from the charging stations.
Well, I want to thank you for considering Ward 3 and for the reasons why you're considering putting it in Ward 3. And I would be willing to bet that some of that grant funding is based on this type of project being able to help people in a community, in a particular community.
Yes, sir. We, to help them.
So I thank you for considering us. And I'm hoping that as we go down the road with this, there'll be some entrepreneurial opportunities for local people to be able to, like Linda had just mentioned, to be able to capitalize on this type of service, so we can have our own systems going on and not necessarily rely on Greenscape or Green Spot or anybody else outside of us. I'm looking at it in terms of how the phone company may have come in and established a monopoly, and then we become beholden to that particular organization, and eventually it gets broken up. So we want to be able to be in position to capitalize on it if it ever gets that big.
And I don't know exactly how long the contract with Spot would last, as far as, the install vehicles and operate them for a certain amount of time, but that's all information that I'd be happy to ask you for review.
What do you see as the next steps on your end? Are you applying to the state for charity funds?
Yes, sir. So right now we're in the process of writing a grant application to submit to the Department of Energy. So what we're working on right now is the research plan and determining what's the process of how we would determine what would be the best location and who would benefit the most. So we're coming up with a process to help determine that. And so we hope to do a little bit of a survey, which is just to figure out what people are actually interested in. And so we're working on coming up with the research process, and then also with the grant application, we're hoping to have a letter of a statement, or just a general statement of support that Chestertown would be interested in having this type of ride sharing system on Chestertown. And so that was the reason for our grant application. So right now, we're not trying to determine the exact location of the charging stations, we are trying to come up with some process that will help us determine the best place.
Are you trying to assess the financial viability of this effort? I mean, as you lay out the options there, even with your Chevy Bolt, using commute
Might not be the
sounds
most
almost
practical,
right.
right.
But going to the doctors or somebody coming into the marina and wanting to run up to the shopping center. It seems much more practical.
And part of this is that this is the first system that's being put in this part of town. And so obviously that does come with some limitations on use, like you said. It might not be the most practical to use right now, but in the future, if we get the Chestertown ride sharing system off the ground, Green's God is open to expand into other parts of town. That would make it a little more convenient. Someone could take a car, for example, from Chestertown to Middletown and leave a car there while they shop.
That's what I was gonna say, like, I know in like cities where they have bike share, the appeal is that you grab your bike at point A and you drop it off at point B.
Right.
What I thought I heard you saying is, you're describing is, you have to somehow get to these stations, grab the car and bring it back to the same
Right.
station.
Right now, that is the way it is the first ride sharing system in this area. But in the future,
Well, I think for tonight, I mean, would we get to writing a letter of support, so there's
I think it's intriguing this Volkswagen people were, some of that's money coming from them.
yeah, so all of that money is coming from, I don't know if you recall when we used to.
And they were caught cheating.
Yes, Volkswagen was caught cheating on the emissions testing, so part of the penalty they received for that was to pay all those funding and all of, those funds are all going to fund, reducing carbon emissions and improving electric vehicles.
We're gonna benefit from their crimes.
Yes, and so the amount of money that Bill got was also, they determined that
They'll
based
probably
on the
get
number
us-
of faulty cars that were sold.
Are they gonna give
And
us
a lot was
Volkswagens?
sold.
Is that what it is?
Those will
No.
be the cars that's been put out there.
I understand Volk's not gonna make, they're not gonna make it.
Right, so GM will be discontinuing the Volt in the next, over the next year, but that money came through the new Volts are actually a lot cheaper. But there are other options, like you said, they also consider Nissan Leaf, or, which is another, sort of economical electric car.
I think you really are thinking out of the box.
Yes.
It's important to get the sort of the theory of electricity in cars out there. The only thing I worry about here in your model, and I've rented cars at airports before, they don't just say, hey, go ahead, take it, bring it back when you like. They want to know you have the choice. And the other part of the model that doesn't work for me necessarily in disadvantaged neighborhoods is this technology thing where you have, and
Maybe
with
they
senior
not have a
citizens.
smartphone.
Yeah, we meet them every day, people coming in to pay their bills, they don't have a smartphone, they don't know what an app is. So, I mean, I like the idea of it, but I think it's gonna need some monitoring like a sponsor. Good idea about the marina because there's staff there and they go, okay, you brought it back, is everything okay? What's that, a deer in the windshield, or whatever, you know? But I think it's got some things to work out. And I do like the idea, if you're talking about entrepreneurs, I like the 80% model where you find a small business that wants to start their business that way, promote it, and maybe even sell electric cars.
And that is
Because if
something,
we don't-
that's
we don't-
something we'd be willing to have a discussion.
Because if we keep relying on the public sector, you know, okay, you get parking in the parking lot, you get recharged, but that doesn't do the rest of the thing for me. It doesn't get people buying electric cars and using them.
The other aspects of it she's talking about are not quite as pie in the sky as I first think. In Washington, it's quite common. The systems of the insurance have already been addressed, the iPhone, whatever, so that, for example, if my son who lives in the Northwest wants to rent a car for a few hours, he looks up on his phone, he usually finds that there are 3 or 4 of them within a block of his house. He goes there, presses the number, he's already applied for the insurance on his phone, the car door unlocks, he gets in and drives off, comes back and parks it as close as he can to that original spot. That's up and running today in Washington.
So are the scooters.
So are the scooters, but this is, yeah.
And those are details that you'll probably have in your application. How does it actually work?
We also find a bunch of scooters and bikes in the harbor over in Baltimore
Yep.
too, so you gotta worry about
All
that.
right, so are we willing, interested in providing a letter of support for an act?
I move that we provide a letter of support.
I second that motion.
Okay, all
I
in
have,
favor?
I just have an issue with, I really wouldn't want it to compete with East Coast Storage because of the expense they've gone to put in the 2 chargers that they have out there.
Well, the college already has chargers.
I know, but,
I think this is a little different, Linda, because you're actually getting a car.
yeah.
Whereas they want private car owners to come charge their cars there.
No, they want to. But I agree with you on this. I think it's good to promote, to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get the private sector interested in, seems like a marginal amount. And even the private new chargers benefited from the Maryland program a bit to put them in. So I'd like to see them in a lot of places so you don't have to decide, like, am I going to the college or am I going out to?
I'm not 100% positive about what the Volkswagen Fund does fund, but they may even be interested in reimbursing East Coast Storage a portion of their construction costs. That's something I can try to find out and let you know about.
That would be good. If you could,
Have you done any kind of a survey to see whether it really would be acceptable in this area or not?
So we would like to do the survey if we get the grant funding because it's sort of difficult. So on the college campus, it's easy for us to send out a survey to everybody's college email. We can't necessarily do that in the town of Chestertown. We'd either have to mail everyone a survey or go door to door, and that all costs money. And that's all funding that we're applying for the research process through the grant.
Well, most people in this area, because we don't have public transportation, have a car or have somebody. Now, if you're in Boston, my grandson lives in Boston, he got rid of his car because he couldn't afford a parking place. I mean, they pay thousands of dollars just to park their car.
All right, look, we're drifting a little bit because we have a motion on the floor with a second.
what's your date of, like, anything, like a
So
startup?
the grant has to be submitted by March, and we would like for you to consider the statement of interest and get back to us by the beginning of January.
We'll draft something for you based on this model. And I guess Jen has your email address or whatever. Okay?
All right, I want to go back to the motion that's on the floor with a second to draft a letter of support for this, for the mayor to sign. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
great job.
Yes, very
Very
good.
interesting.
Yes.
I'll turn that all off for you, Lauren. You can, if you want.
All right, moving on to the town manager's report. Bill
I
Ingersoll.
talked to the chief this afternoon. Chief wanted a few moments of your time. Chief, you wanna tell the council what you need to tell them?
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. You might recall about 2 weeks ago when I gave my monthly report, I mentioned that I had a couple of hopeful candidates and I was kind of crossing my fingers and whatever. I did have, we advertised traditionally in the paper, we did it over the internet, and then Kim suggested, Kim Lawson, that we try Indeed, and we even did that. We were specifically looking for certified police officers, and so, you know, that means basically that they graduated from the police academy. So our most likely candidates are like recent retirees, could have somebody that's been in the police department, has moved for whatever reason, moved over to the shore or something like that. And you take that with a grain of salt, because sometimes they come with baggage. But we did end up with 2 very good-looking candidates. And one was to let us know by Friday. Unfortunately, he took a job with Christiana Hospital as a security guard. I was one closer to his home. The second guy was to let us know today, which he did, and he took a job with the Federalsburg Police Department, which was very complimentary, a take-home police car, which we don't have, and closer to his home. So I hate these guys for making that decision, but unfortunately for us, we're now 2 positions open, and there's just nothing in the well to draw from. So our other option is to send someone to the police academy, 2 people to the police academy. And we've done that in the past, and quite frankly, it is really, I think, the better option, just because we most often get a local candidate. They're vested in the community, and it just works out well. So that historically has been good. That's what I want to speak to you or request from you that we do. Now, the key is time. The police academy, which is at Woolworth Tech, starts January 4th. We are required to jump through a lot of hoops to hire a candidate. Number one, we have to test. Well, first of all, we have to get our candidates, and actually now what we're talking about is not certified police officers, but just someone who's interested and has a decent looking background. We got a lot of those candidates too as a byproduct of our first advertising. So we already have that. It's one step ahead. But again, now we have to test. Then we have to ultimately select the candidates. After doing that, then we have to give them a polygraph, a psychological, a physical, and a background check, all mind you in the month of December when everybody's off and everything else, and before we can start them in January. I think we can do that. What I can't speak to is the cost. I'm going to tell you what it costs, but I can't tell you I've got it in my back pocket. So my professional opinion, this is the right thing to do. It's a good thing to do, but we got to pay for it. Now the downside also is that for 6 months we don't get to reap the reward directly because those guys are in the academy. So we're going to be short two police officers, and so we're going to incur some overtime until we get them out here. In the long run, it's a good plan. So how much does the academy cost? It costs approximately $20,000 to send someone through the police academy. Like I told you, that's 6 months. So if we send 2, it costs $40,000. So I've been just sort of scrounging around trying to figure out how can I mitigate some of that cost. And I guess you'd say I sort of call it in favor or whatever. The academy fee itself is $4,000. The biggest cost of the total is lodging. It costs about $8,000 to put someone up for 6 months. Now, we could cut that in half if we put 2 people in one room. And then secondly, there's an allied agency who has an office within 10 minutes of the police academy. And I contacted them today, and they offered to house our candidates gratis. So that would save us. So if we just did it flat out, sent these guys into a hotel wherever, then the total cost would be 40. But because we can save 8,000 times 2, knocks 16,000 off, it gets us to approximately $25,000. That's where I am. That's what I'm looking at. But I need to start tomorrow almost because I got to test these guys, and like I said, do polygraphs, do backgrounds, do physicals. That's my dilemma.
Assuming this all goes well and they're out of the academy and they're like registered police officers, are they then committed to work for us for a while?
So,
because that would be a bummer.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So what we have done in the past, and we certainly do in this case, is I guess you'd say we sign a contract.
Right.
And we commit them to work for 3 years. If they leave before then they are obligated to pay the cost of the academy.
But we've never collected,
You know,
never collected from them.
Well,
What do you mean we've never collected?
We've had people leave and we've never,
It's not an
they've
enforceable
never
contract.
paid their money.
Yeah, I actually have been successful with some of those fees, and what happens typically, Chief, is the agency that they leave for, like if somebody comes and steals them, we say, well, they still owe us, $2,000 from the academy, then that agency has paid us. But you're right, it's not a dead.
It's a hard thing to
dead dime.
enforce.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But again, the experience is that in most cases, the person that we kind of go from the grassroots is not that one that's going to jump ship, or they won't jump that soon.
Now, this is two beyond that young lady that we swore in the
That's
other
correct.
night. Because you actually had 3 vacancies.
Yes, sir, that's correct. I had one that retired in September, one that went to Anne Arundel County, October 30th was the last day, and I'm losing one tomorrow, is the last day, one to Queen Sheriff.
Is she on the street yet?
No, sir, still in field training.
If we're down 2 officers right now, then we're not paying 2 salaries. So in theory, that's like a cost savings versus the budget we approved.
That's
Is
correct.
that correct?
That's correct, Now, but I don't want
But
to...
is the overtime we accrue covering those 2 shifts that don't exist, is that the same as it would be paying those 2 salaries? I guess what I'm saying is, if we ante up to 25 grand, is that basically a wash? Because we're not paying salaries right now
Yeah.
anyway.
So, I mean, you know... it's
Do you
all-
follow me?
Yeah, it's always more complicated than that, but I understand exactly what you're saying. First of all, we had to pay benefits to the ones that left, so that cost us something. We do have those vacant salaries sort of ticking away that we have in the budget, and we're not spending it, but we are spending it in overtime.
All of it though? Is it?
Yeah, no, we're, not totally, but, I mean, it's basically, you're gonna have to fill a shift, and
Right.
so you're paying then at an overtime rate
Yeah.
instead of a regular rate. So, it is not a wash. And then the other factor is just the burnout factor.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long, and you have to do this for 2 or 3 months, and you know, kind of twist people's arms to come in and work and work and work, and then the people that you have, you may lose them. So, you know, it's a difficult situation. And yes, I've tried and will try everything else as far as modifying schedules and, you know, working shifts myself for my lieutenant, or, you know, whatever we can do, we're going to do that. So I don't want you to think that it's ultimate tragedy, but it's a necessity to get these positions filled, so that's why I'm here. So,
Roughly what portion of our current staff here have we paid to go through the academy?
so I was thinking about that. The last, I would say it's about probably a third, maybe. The last probably 5 people that I've hired have been certified. And it's just hit or miss. You know, did somebody happen to retire?
But it's not that unusual that we would need to pay to send somebody to the academy.
No. And again, it's the preference, and we in past had budgeted in, you know, well, what if we have to send somebody to the academy? But we cut things tight here in last.
This person that retired, was he a long-time employee or recent?
Yeah, I hired him, it was Officer Wilson, who I hired from Anne Arundel County, and he had retired from there, so he worked for 5 years and was done.
All right, so you need a decision, basically.
Yes, sir.
Well, don't we have 2 pieces of property for sale? How close are we to selling?
Oh, pretty close. I mean, I'm having a little trouble finding an appraiser since Mr. Krieger retired, but we're close since we're dealing with the adjacent property owners.
And should we get,
I mean, should we balance that with the sale asset from?
how much are we gonna get for, I think this is
either,
one
I
of
mean,
them,
I think what the
10,000?
mayor brought up is that you're taking people out of service. I don't know if the overtime matches it, but we need officers who'll stay, and we haven't had, we've had some good officers that we've hired that have come from other places, and we've had some real upsetting things happen. Yep, and so I'd say the ones, when we start at grassroots, we do better, we give long-term opportunities. I don't know if you send one to school or both, I don't really care. I think it's an investment in the future. And I think whatever it is, we'll look at the budget, and Amanda and I will tell you where we have it. I don't want to count on the sale of assets to fund that. It's a different department, but yeah, it's the same money in the
You always say
end.
everything's all in one pot, you know?
It's in a big pot, it's not in all those little pots that you'd like it to be. But I think you have to agree to it in principle, and that's why I said.
Do we need to make a motion?
No,
to support it?
you just need to say we're going to pursue it.
What we can't do is wait for 2 or 3 weeks and then give you.
Now, I can say this, I mean, I'm not going to stop trying to get it certified until these guys are committed. It is gonna take me another, 2 weeks to get this to get somebody hired. If somebody comes along in that 2 weeks, then we can consider them, but we haven't found them yet, so.
We should start hiring people away from other things and paying off their debts. to
Well,
them.
I can explain to you how we can do that.
No, you told me today. Thanks.
Can I ask you a question off
Yes, sir.
of this personnel?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting any problems with people taking packages that have been delivered by us or by?
Kind of the traditional Christmas kind of thing.
Yeah,
I haven't had any reports of it.
yeah, well, we ordered stuff from Amazon, they said, they delivered to my house and we never got it. I was just wondering if we're pursuing it now.
Yes.
To see whether the post office just took it to the wrong house or not. So,
I guess, let's make a decision.
Fine with me.
Yes.
Let's do. You're in favor, David?
I'm in favor.
well, we have to have also.
All right, I guess we reluctantly but understandably give you the go ahead.
So what, and just so you understand, so what we're looking for is about $25,000 for 2 officers.
Understood?
All right? All right, thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you.
And it may balance out.
There goes your bonus this year.
So it's worth it.
Yours and everyone else.
I'm getting ready. This is the inverse of Bob's section. When I get ready to talk, everybody leaves.
Oh, I've been emailing back and forth.
Okay, I've got one thing. This is all part of the enterprise zone that we did a few years ago, I guess 2016. Resolution number 4-2018 town property, real property tax credit. And this has to do with, I'll just read one of the whereas. Whereas KRM Development Corporation is constructing a new corporate headquarters building within the enterprise zone, representing an investment of approximately $11 million and thereby qualifying for enterprise zone real property tax credit. Be it resolved by the mayor and council that subject property shall receive a real property tax credit against the increase in county and town taxes resulting from the above referenced capital improvements, beginning in the next full year following the date herein approved, and continuing for 9 consecutive years thereafter as follows: 80% in the first 5 taxable years, 60% in the 7th, 50% in the 8th, 40% in the 9th, 30% in the 10th year. And just be it resolved, the mayor and council with their signatures below fully support this application in Maryland Department of Commerce this 3rd day of December 2018. This is something we really promised to do, and it's happening. So you get a little dent for now, but it's a large number, and it won't get smaller. And the
In
more-
10 years, someone's gonna get a nice windfall.
Yeah, some other mayor, some other mayor, and some other council.
I didn't wanna say it.
Pat on the back, thanks to you.
I plan on being here, I don't know about you.
Okay, you want to say anything?
No, it's great. We love that that they're expanding. It's a great investment in our community, and we're glad that they're getting this tax benefit via the state and local program. It's all good.
Oh, I didn't get a motion yet, did I?
Yeah, so is there a motion to approve resolution 04-2018 for the real property credit?
Yeah,
All right, there's a
you have to
motion.
relate all that, or you can,
I got
Oh, you
it.
did, we saw it coming.
Motion's been made, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let the record show unanimously approved resolution 04-2018, town of Chestertown, real property
Yes.
Hey,
credit for the
you want to say
KRM.
anything about your weekend coming up?
It's going to be fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Really starts, there's still some tickets left for the soiree Thursday night, which is a fundraiser for Main Street and the Dickens Festival. Friday's going to be just ramped up, first Friday, Saturday, nonstop entertainment. Sunday, a fun 5K walk run, so. Good weather. So far, the rain is holding off, so we're very fortunate.
And I also want to say that, all the efforts downtown to light the downtown up and all the things that have been done really look nice. I got another watchdog helping me when the lights don't go on. Kay's helping me out. If they're not on, please let us know. Police are going to help us, and we want them on at dark. They look terrific, and I guess we've added about 300 feet of new stores on side streets that wanted to participate. We bought the lights for them, and also the lanyards, and we put them up.
The lights were out in the 200 block of High.
Tonight?
No.
The
it
other
was-
night,
yeah.
yes. I tell you what, we have a lot of chefs in the kitchen, and some lights get turned on and off, and people don't remember how they're done, but we have one master switch, and if everything's left the way it is in that fuse box, then it works fine. But the fountain looks fantastic, and that's new this year. And thanks to John Hamley also for setting that up with the timer so it comes on automatically. A lot goes on that we don't see, and our own men for that. I want to compliment the street crew for leaving a job that they were doing with storm drain on Cross Street. Believe it or not, they're doing that's a big job. Jump off that, pick up leaves, put up the ornaments and the lights. Terrific.
Are there tickets left for the house tour? Because people were coming in the Boardley Center Saturday morning.
Yes, there are
Yes.
tickets still left. They'll be online for sale through Thursday, 11 p.m., and then after that, you'd have to buy it at the Dickens Welcome Center Saturday morning.
Okay. And I brought your newspaper.
That's the end of my report.
All right, moving on to the mayor's report. My first item here is a proclamation. This is from a national organization that is collecting these proclamations from municipalities across the country. They asked Chestertown if we could contribute, and we agreed. I'll just read you a couple lines from here. Whereas we have all witnessed racial divisiveness rising in America's urban, rural, suburban, and tribal communities today that threatens the very core of this great country's unified front. And whereas, just like those who came before us, it is our duty to protect the children of this country and maintain communities in which they may all be given the opportunity to succeed. And whereas racial healing is a vital and crucial commitment to the education, social, mental, and overall well-being of all our children. Whereas the town of Chestertown, in conjunction with others throughout the United States of America, acknowledges January 22nd, 2019 as a National Day of Racial Healing and urges all citizens to promote racial healing and transformation in the ways that are best suited for them individually as a means to working together to ensure the best quality of life for every child. Now therefore, I, Chris Serino, Mayor of the town of Chestertown, do hereby proclaim that this city honors and recognizes January 22nd, 2019 as the National Day of Racial Healing. And then the other item on my report is the major holiday decoration contest of every year.
I think everybody got copies. I made copies of last year's winners. Did you get them?
I didn't get it.
I didn't have them
You
right
have
here
them,
if you
okay.
need them, so I'm gonna pass these out. Your job is to go through your award, pick. It's tough. Feelings are hurt. We get over it, we move on, but you need to pick the top two, in your opinion. The top two decorative. So do you guys think 2 weeks is enough time to nominate these on this next meeting? I know it's there's a lot of pressure here, I know.
We usually don't announce it until after the.
Yeah, depending on how it falls.
January.
We did it last year, the first meeting in January,
All right,
because
we could do that.
it was just a
Because some
funny
people
way.
are
Because
late
some people
putting them
come
up.
in late. All right, let's try it on the first meeting in January.
And you can't give the same people.
That's why I just gave you last year's winner.
Better look at the year before last too.
Don't pick anybody.
It's getting hard,
I
Mike.
got somebody, I already took them out.
Just one other thing from my report, I don't know if we mentioned this, but we had requested, at the request of some members of the college and the community down Quaker Neck Road, Tyler Armory, to write a letter to the state highway administration. We basically got a letter from the DOT saying, in so many words, they said they've done several studies there, crash data, field observations, and that they just don't think the request was just. So I emailed John Seidel this evening to let him know the copy will be on my box if anybody wants to see it. But in so many words, the state has essentially declined our request for that lowering of the speed limit. It is what it is. I'm not sure what else we can do, but I do know that the Siemens Griswold Center, which is the new environmental center they want to build down there, just got approved. So I do believe once all that's built out, assuming something happens with the armory, we may need to revisit this. And,
I might make a suggestion, sure, this is a new district engineer, so it's not from the total state, it's from the District 2 office. And I think the sooner the better, we should ask to invite him in, and tell us what his goals as district engineer are going to be. Because this is something that I thought was dismissed too lightly. I don't remember any studies being done. You know, I could travel that road every day, and usually you drive over hoses and you see things out. And I'm a little disappointed at how quickly the answer was no. I just think that we have other things that we need to talk about in the way of the roads that go through our town that are important to everybody. And speed is one of them. That's the one I hear the most in every neighborhood. You know? So I just think it would be a nice thing to do diplomatically to say, could you come, let's meet you. I know, the first thing you ask
They'll
for.
study it forever, whatever.
No, I don't mean just this one, I mean all of it. I mean, we have a lot of state roads going through our town. And we have two that are pending fire. Remember, Washington Avenue was gonna have these big things done. They did the study, they sat down with the local groups. What was the last time you heard anything about that?
We had a
The other
task
one was in Ward 3, going up Flatland Road, pedestrian safety. When was the last time we heard anything
Just that
about
girl got
So
struck.
let's introduce ourselves and see what.
I would really like to do that. I was going to raise complaints from people in my ward about crossing 213. I almost got hit myself. I have a friend who was hit, and others who've complained about it. It is a significant issue. And I think we do have to be able to address that in terms of
Start
parcel
off
amounts.
All right, well, let's invite our new engineer.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move on to ward reports. Why don't we start with you tonight?
Okay, before I start my report, I think it would be nice if we just took a moment to pause the fact, recognize that we lost George H.W. Bush, President of the United States. Whether you agreed with his policies or not, you have to admit that he was really, truly a nice person and a good. He served this country from the time he was 18 years old, the youngest fighter pilot we've ever had. And this country's at a great loss because we no longer have him. So, and I think we should probably at least put that in our notes. I attended the Chestertown tree lighting with the mayor and some of the other members of the council. The tree is fabulous. I mean, it looks like a real tree. And then the next day, we all down there again to watch the Santa Claus come in, and we judged the Christmas parade. I'm looking forward to the Dickens weekend. If it's anything like last year, it should be a super time. I just hope the weather, I saw the forecast, it says it's going to be very cold. So I hope we get the people to come out for that. Most of the things are fine in Ward 4. I do want to bring up the fact that I know I took the time today. We're on our way to the playoffs. And that's it.
All right, Ward 3.
All right, Ward 3, I want to send special thanks out to Greenscape Landscaping for taking care of the circle, cleaning it up, doing all the weeds, it's looking good. A little by the day, the team, like 5 or 6 guys out here, working so I'm appreciative. I just want to say thanks to them. I attended a community outreach dinner in Bethel AME in Chestertown, where they invite in veterans and elderly people to serve them a holiday dinner and give them Christmas gifts. So that was pretty neat to do. Also, as Marty said, we attended the parade and the tree lighting ceremony, and I've been in contact with Kay, so we can go ahead and start thinking about how to make that day a special day for next year and include it in with the regular Christmas events that go on that weekend. And I want to highly encourage members of the 3rd Ward to to get out and get those Christmas lights up and get those decorations going so we can have the nicest looking holiday ward in Chestertown. That is my report, sir.
All right, thank you. Ward 2.
Okay, Sumner Hall is having a concert this Saturday at 7 p.m. Daryl Davis and Boogie Woogie.
Yes.
And the Historical Society on First Friday is having a wassail and cookies party the first Friday. So if everybody stops by. Santa was walking around Chestertown Saturday morning after he finished at his house. Unfortunately, it started raining, but it was nice. And I bumped into him 3 different locations, so he was all over downtown. I just wanted to remind people to be on the alert,
Yes.
just this is Chestertown, but we've had some major crime
Yes.
here in the past couple weeks, and just we take things for granted. We're home. It's Chestertown, but we've had several incidents lately. So just be careful when you're out, in the evening at the grocery store, at the plaza, even downtown. Just kind of be alert and stay alert. And I would also like to send condolences to the family of Donna Hickman. She has been an artisan in the artisan market for many, many years and was a potter. And she passed away last week.
All right. Yes.
David?
I too would just really like to thank all those involved in decorating the park and preparations for Dickens Festival. Just outstanding, it really is. This morning I attended the swearing in of our county commissioners, both to congratulate them and also to remind them that we're going to be asking them more about the tax differential. Start off on day 1. So, they're thinking.
One of them campaigned and he didn't think it was right, but Chestertown wasted money.
Yes.
And I didn't appreciate that.
All right, there actually was one request to be on the agenda this evening from the fire White House fund.
Sorry, my chestnuts were out this year. Get it. Yeah, and for those who didn't get a copy, I've gotten a letter from the sent to from the market manager. Can give you all a couple minutes to read it. Jen, did you want to?
Yes, please. I didn't,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't even know that. I didn't see that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid them, I didn't want that now. And I can give you a couple minutes to read it. And I'm here to ask to be exempted from that. And I've brought some samples. And if you'll look at the backs.
Just hand me a few, I'll spread.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I do.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Just been sitting too long.
What all the furor is about, Dolly?
Yes.
Dolly, did you make these cards?
I
These
did
are-
paint small original watercolors from produce that the vendors have given me and some of my own. And for 2 years, I've been selling these note cards off and on. They're a real hit. I don't, of course, sell very many, but I have a very small farm operation, so this year with the rain, it's been suffering. And right before Christmas, a little gas money is a good thing. And as I've said in my letter, it really kind of falls into the category of value-added agriculture. I don't really see that there's any difference between, taking tomatoes and added spices and sending it out of state to get manufactured into barbecue sauce or ketchup and then brought back to be sold. And, my produce I grow pink, so, Owen didn't have a problem with it. Like I said, I've been doing it for 2 years.
But
As I get older, I'm
you're
kind of...
selling your produce, your egg, don't you have eggs?
No, I don't have eggs
But you
anymore.
have produce mainly,
Right.
and then these cards are there. You
Yeah.
sell them,
Yeah.
but you mainly sell produce.
Yes.
And it's a
mostly.
byproduct of your skills, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know what the issue is.
Well, they won't let me sell.
I know what the issue is, but I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah, right. Understand.
I just
I
think the
think
tempest in the
that
teapot.
Other people are doing crafts and have continually been doing crafts and,
Goes well with what you sell.
and, I'm giving the town publicity. I'm also sort of giving,
You're using a local
little bit.
printer. I mean, no, you didn't make the
Right.
paper,
of course not. That's an art in
This
itself.
is really nice.
Thank you. Thank you. And I was selling them as an assortment of 4 different designs, in series of vegetables, fruits, peppers, and figs, which I sell fresh figs. I've been told by people who have come, to the market that they actually, do you mind if I sit down?
No.
Okay. I've been told that, really, this farmer's market is the only farmer's market in the state of Maryland that's selling fresh figs in the community that I usually supply. And, as you know, I'm certified organic, so I have, a list from the Department of Agriculture what I'm allowed to sell. But I'm a one-person operation, so I'm very small. But I'm trying to keep the 300-year-old farm going. And this just adds a little extra supplement to that.
So, in general, like when a dispute like this arises between the vendor
Right.
and the manager, is this the right forum?
Actually,
for us to-
I'm generally, in the past, I've been the next one.
The arbiter?
Manager comes to me and says, hey, this is a big deal, or it's not. And I rule, and if they're unhappy or then it comes to the council, it's rare that you've had a couple of people come, that one that was out and one vendor that was out wanted to get back in. To me, this shouldn't rise to this level. I think if someone had asked me, I would have said that this is completely small and it's secondary to what you're really doing there, which is selling the things that you're painting to. I think it's great. I don't know why it's even come up, but I would recommend that council deal with it immediately and move on.
Since we're in the process right now, at least at the next meeting, finalizing our regs, is there any problem in making sure that there's nothing in the language there that would prohibit this sort of situation?
Oh, I don't know what interpretation someone's made to make that this is part of what we're dreaming up for rules, because this isn't anything that I think we intended, and I will look to see that.
I mean, in
That's
fairness
what
to
it
the
says
manager,
in my-
they've been operating without a written policy for quite some time.
Yeah, but Dolly's right. The previous manager said, well, she
Sure.
found it congruous with what she was doing. There's vegetables, and here's some artwork on a minor scale, not like, okay, here's what I do now, kid, and I got one tomato here. Come on. Let's keep the meeting
Well,
as
this
short as
time
we
of
can.
year, it's produce.
All
fresh
right, so
produce.
should we,
I think this is great.
should we make a motion?
Yeah, I think sometimes you'll be ruling on a particular case. You're making a judgment based on your own rules.
Or would somebody like to make a motion?
I'm not sure what it is that we're
I would
making
agree
a
that
motion
this is
for.
secondary and congruent with what she does in selling vegetables.
The problem that's come up in my mind real quickly is this going to be something that's going to happen all the time? When she can't resolve an issue, is she going to be running to us
That's a really good point.
to deal with it?
I don't think that this should get to me or the
Right.
managers. This is, looking at what this is.
Right.
Like I said, if she packs a tractor trailer up with reams
Yeah.
and reams and reams of these things, and then suddenly, I do think that in that case, you go over to the other side where the artisans are.
Actually, I've been a
graphical illustrator for over 40 years. And
These are great.
I'm not doing those kind of things. I'm just doing local produce.
Well, if you give each of the council a packet of those things.
I
We have
think
to
it would be
report that on
valuable.
our annual.
Well, factoring in the cost of printing,
Yeah.
you know.
You have it done at the local UPS store.
Yes.
Like, I think we need like a finding of fact, like,
What's the objection to these? Is the
well,
fact that
I can
they're...
tell you, it's basically a craft that's being sold on the farmer's market where, in theory, we're selling produce.
Okay.
But it's a secondary,
I couldn't figure that one out.
I understand, so I think,
Well, I also think this is a misrepresentation here because, where it says, unfortunately, we followed up with the town and was told it was our discretion. Okay, did anybody get an email? I did get an email.
I
I
didn't.
didn't get
I
it.
never saw an email about it.
So that's kind of false right there. You know, it's followed up with the town. So I don't see any problem.
Look, I think we should, for the record, state that if we are going to allow this, that it's because it's a secondary product, that you're primarily selling vegetables and produce, as is stated in the regs, and that this is really like almost like a side byproduct of what you're,
I think the guy who sells baked goods started out selling vegetables, and then he started selling pies and cakes.
I understand, we're talking about crafty things, but can somebody make a motion so we can resolve it?
I make a motion that in the farmer's market, people can sell secondary
I think we
products.
just rule on this one case.
This one, okay.
Yeah, this don't.
Okay.
Did you find that this is compatible?
I find this compatible with
That's a good way
the overall purpose of the farmer's market,
of this particular.
And that she will be allowed to,
and that she will be allowed.
all right.
to do
So,
Is there
second,
a second?
yes.
All those in favor?
so. Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks for
Trade
being
you a pepper
patient.
for your...
Would somebody tell the manager so?
I'm meeting with them on
These
Thursday.
are neat though.
Actually, I like peppers.
All right. If you all would each like.
Oh, you're
to have
gonna
one
take 'em
together.
back?
They don't have any envelopes.
I like to have this one if I can. I want the mushroom.
Thank you.
I thought she was
Well, they
giving
draw a lot
So
of
two
interest
pieces.
and people ask me questions and I'm kind of the resident
Only
biologist,
signature,
so
only the
I
sign.
always give a lot of,
It goes in my
yeah, like
town council.
pawpaw
Yes,
purchases.
yes.
You're taking these back?
He's gonna reconsider his
My
vote.
I want to reconsider my
I
vote.
want your autograph.
You want my
Please,
autograph?
yes. It goes in my collection of town council stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
See,
All right, are there any questions or comments
Sounds
from
like
the
a
mass
plan.
audience? We have,
Thank you so much.
That's pretty smart. You get a card.
See, now
is there a motion to adjourn?
You can look up
I
on
make a
Fish and
motion we
Wildlife
adjourn.
and
this is
Service,
awesome.
US
Is there a
Fish and
second to
Wildlife.
adjourn?
Second.
Find
I heard
Those
that
in
one.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Let's
All right,
go.
we're
Thank you
adjourned.
so
Find-
much.
you can- you
Now I'm
can
gonna come
find